Hello and welcome to Chronicles of Tao by Deng Ming Dao, Taoist Master, the secret life of a Taoist master, Sai Hun, who was ultimately Deng's teacher. So he's coming back from the war in China after the Japanese invasion, and he's killed lots of people on the field with his sword and various martial arts moves because he became a soldier and he returned to the temple even though Grandmaster told him that if he left he wasn't to come back. Um, blah blah blah. So I'm not going to read the entire story, but I recommend that you read this book. I'm going to analyze the main parts of the text. It's a fascinating story. So he's back in the temple. The old temple cook burst out laughing. Da Shi disappears all the time, he said. He doesn't say where he's going. He only says, I have business, and is absent for months. We know that sometimes he went out and fought. How do you know? Asked Sai-Hun. The newspaper clippings with the monthly supplies periodically mentioned an old Taoist with a cane. Only Da Shi carries that cane. We asked him about the news. Of course he denied everything. What did the clippings say? We know Da Shi went to Shanghai and Beijing to accept challenges from Japanese martial artists. This is a 97-year-old man. The last time was in 1936. I was still here. Why didn't he take me? Probably because your bad temper would have gotten you killed. Oh? The Japanese called us sick men of the Orient, and Da Shi went to accept their challenges. He defeated a sumo wrestler in Shanghai with 2 fingers to the throat. He used just his sleeves and palms in a Beijing match where 2 karate masters, an aikido master and a judo master attacked him simultaneously. So Da Shi isn't above getting involved himself, cried Sai-Hun. Apparently not, returned the priest. Then there was another time that the same Taoist appeared in Sichuan. Sichuan? Exclaimed Sai-Hun. What was he doing there? Just so, said the priest dryly. How do we know why Da Shi was there? There was a tea house there occupied by Japanese troops. Their commander was reputedly fourth dan black belt in karate. Well, the old Taoist walked right in and nonchalantly sat down for tea. The frightened waiters didn't know what to do but serve him. The commander boasted of his skills and the inferiority of Chinese warriors, until the old Taoist put his teacup down and laughed mockingly. The commander attacked, but the old Taoist threw him with one hand. A big fight erupted, and only the Taoist walked out of the tea house. That old windbag, cursed Sai-Hun. Give me that sham rebuke. Giving me that sham rebuke, I'm going to get even. Better not, Sai-Hun, the priest chuckled. Da Shi always has the last laugh. That's true, admitted Sai-Hun with an embarrassed smile. He certainly did this time. They came to the entrance of the South Peak Temple and the monks all urged him in. Sai-Hun sought his master and found him in the study. Sai-Hun knelt down. The Grand Master looked down at him non-committally. Sai-Hun saw that his master had not changed. The quiet, observant eyes that could gaze unblinkingly, the snowy hair and beard, the upright posture, were so familiar. Sai-Hun waited for his master to speak. So, you managed to come back? Inquired the Grand Master softly. Yes, Da Shi. Since you're here, you should begin the next stage of training. That was all. The Grand Master accepted and dismissed him with a gentle wave. Blah, blah, blah. Each day was based on 4 practices: morning meditation, astral travel, sutra recitation, and evening meditation. Around that framework was time for 3 hot meals brought in by classmates, practice of martial arts, reading of scriptures, playing music, writing, painting, and exploring the cave. And this is how I've tried to live in real world. Real world. It's all the same world, but I've tried to follow this past since I was 26 years old. So in 2 years, that'll be 20 years that I've been living this way. Rising in the morning, Sai-Hung ate his breakfast, bathed, and did body cleansing and strengthening exercises before going to the meditation chamber. Seated within the sacred circle, he drew a special diagram in the sand. The complex pattern of circles, squares, lines, and angles invoked all forces of heaven and earth, called forth the 10 directions, and conjured the 5 elements. Every stroke was drawn with an invocation, and each one represented a god. The laborious ritual put him into a state of contemplation and created a diagram that protected and supported him. Sai-Hung stepped into its centre and sat down. Both the pattern and his talisman would guard his body against possession once his spirit left his body. Lacking this protection, Sai-Hung's physical shell was vulnerable to the many evil spirits and demons who readily sought an available shell. Spirit possession, sometimes known. They could enter any one of the 9 apertures of the body and prevent the return of Sai-Hung's spirit. I also have experience of this as well, many times, of being possessed by, let's say, not quite benevolent forces. And it was a temporary, but it still lasted quite a long time, relatively speaking. Perhaps weeks or months when that happened to me. So I had a lot to learn about the kind of practices that I was involved in, and that I wasn't properly meditating at the time or cultivating. I was doing too many drugs, psychedelics, and things like that. So negative forces were able to influence me. Positive forces as well, but some negative forces did have an influence on my behaviour, and I became very weird, very eccentric, and anyway, that's all discussed in my book, The Highway, Psychedelics, Mania, and the Quest for the Spirit. So getting back to the Taoism, and he goes into this cave, and some previous hermits sequestrated in the caves had explored and noted many parts, but many sections were unknown and even considered dangerous. Some of the tunnels had stone plaques set above them warning against entering. Sounds like the cave in The Empire Strikes Back, and Yoda says that cave is strong with the dark side of the Force. In it you must go. Other passages were favourite places for Sai-Hung, but when he ventured into the unfamiliar, he frequently met with mysterious and sometimes frightening experiences. So he heard voices and stuff like that, muffled shrieks and cries, things like that. And there was bits in the forest that places that you just didn't go. For example, he said that he had noted in his diary that he had seen the Forest of Infinity. No one had seen its end. Even the realized masters did not venture there, for once a person lost his way, he could never return. And I don't know if this is metaphorically or actually physically, or both, or neither. But anyway, he began to really enjoy the serenity of meditation, the absolute health, and the thrill of learning had literally become addicting. There was no boredom. Meditation had made him sensitive, that he relished the solitude, and his senses and feelings had become so sharpened that was more than enough stimulation. So the idea that meditation ripens your awareness, it brings everything, the present moment, into its full context and experience. So that's enough in itself. I watched some seagulls out there today fighting over scraps of bread and pigeons amongst it. It was just interesting to watch that little scene alone. You might not even pay attention to those sort of things when you're walking down the street. You certainly wouldn't watch them out your window, but that moment is also spiritual and sacred because it's just a matter of seeing it in a different way. You learn things by observing the moment more closely. Things that your ego might have filtered out, you'll start to learn from them. So, and then one day in the cave, he saw a man's head in the water. One side of it was greenish and the eye was large, black and round. The other side was human but with a bitter look to it. The left side seemed definitely reptilian. It might be an apparition, Sihun told himself. The face stared at him unblinkingly. Stubborn and not to be intimidated by what was probably only an illusion, Sihun glared back obstinately. I am the resident of this grotto, said the head. What are you doing here? I am an ascetic, practicing austerities, replied Sihun. How could you be practicing austerities? You're just a kid. You don't know very much. You can't know very much. I have been cultivating myself for 500 years and have 500 more years to go. Oh, stop pretending, shouted Sihun. I'll squash you with one kick. The head's eyes opened wide in surprise. Sihun saw the naked man leap from the water onto a rock in one movement. His body was short and thin, with dangling arms and long fingers. His hair hung to his knees. The man stood laughing. Sihun was taken aback at the man's nakedness, and the man noticed right away. He turned a circle and was instantly clothed in Taoist robes. He giggled. I am the Toad Taoist, he announced. Who are you? I am Quan Sihun, Zhengxi sect of Huashan. Zhengxi sect, huh? Who's your master? The Grand Master of Huashan. I know him, the Toad Taoist laughed. He's a silly old fool. Why don't you give up this nonsense? Why don't you shut up? You're not even real. The Toad Taoist went into a fit of laughter. Sihun decided to ignore him and began his sutra recitation. The Toad Taoist jeered at him, laughed at him, and insulted him for 4 hours. Blah, blah, blah. All right, no one meets me unless I'm destined to. What do you want? Nothing. The Toad Taoist laughing again, and he leapt frog-like over the floor, landing right before Sihun. Sihun stood up. The Toad Taoist rushed up behind him and stood mimicking Sihun's stance. Sihun stepped to the left, so did he. Sihun walked in a circle. The man shadowed him exactly. Wherever Sihun walked, the Toad Taoist duplicated his very move. Sihun looked back in exasperation. The Toad Taoist grinned but looked at him with an insane expression. Sihun sat down. The Toad Taoist leaned over Sihun's shoulder and rolled his eyes up at him. After a minute more, he spoke again. You're sincere, I'll admit, said the Toad Taoist as he sat down. There is some substance to the Zhengxi sect after all. Listen, my boy, do you know why I'm here? No. Centuries ago, I got into a big fight, and as punishment, I was sentenced to this grotto for 1,000 years. Well, I'm halfway through now, and I'm still cultivating myself continuously. And what about you? What are you practicing? I am practicing Taoist alchemy and meditation. Is that so? Said the Toad Taoist thoughtfully. Then you must meditate on the living tree. Yes, I do. As I said earlier, no one meets me unless the stars decree it. You must have been destined to meet me. I should tell you something as a gift. You must realize that, as a student of Taoist alchemy, the Ling Q meditation is essential to your progress. But did you know that these psychic centers don't exist? They're only patterns that you imagine at a certain place in your body. Imagine patterns that activate the subconscious and release power. In actuality, it is not some psychic center, purely the mind. Do you realize what I'm saying? The mind is everything. Everything. He walked up to Sai-Hung and in a smooth movement brought his palm before Sai-Hung's face. Here's a bowl, he said, and some fruit. An orange, grapes, peaches. Sai-Hung tried to think carefully. He touched the fruit. They were real, but he was suspicious. Perhaps the Taoist was presenting him with a puzzle. He thought back and realized that the preceding few moments had been blocked from his consciousness. Fleeting images of the Taoist bending down came to him. Those grapes are a twig, said Sai-Hung. Instantly the grapes reverted. That orange is a rock. The other fruit are leaves. The bowl is a flat stone. As he mentioned each item, it changed back to its original state and fell from the Taoist's hand. I'll admit you're intelligent, said the Taoist, smiling broadly. You can see how powerful the mind is. You could have eaten that fruit, but would you have been eating a rock or a fruit? The mind decides that. Take the cave itself. We agree this cave exists. It wouldn't if our mind willed otherwise. But what does it matter? The Ling Chi don't exist, and yet they work. The Taoist floated in the air. I am using the Dantian combined with the throat center, he said. How can I do it if the Ling Chi don't exist? It is the mind, I tell you. Nothing is real. Nothing exists except the mind. He instructed Sai-Hung in deeper Ling Chu meditation before saying goodbye. The Taoist jumped into the water and slowly sank until just his head bobbed at the surface. Then that too sank until he was gone. He would return to visit Sai-Hung regularly, but he always arrived and departed in the same odd way. Remember, my boy, he called just before he submerged completely. Nothing is real. So we'll leave it there today. So nothing is real. Leave that the text bit rather. We'll do a bit of interpretation. Nothing is real. The psychic centers don't exist as we think they do, as actual physical centers in the body, or even as energy centers in the energetic sphere. The etheric or the astral plane or whatever dimension they exist in, they don't exist. Rather, what exists is the mind. Our mind constructs and creates reality. Our mind, my mind, your mind is constructing this room somehow. Our consciousness is, we don't know how it happens exactly, but we know that it happens. The mind is that powerful. So this, this could be argued metaphysically about, whether the phenomenal world exists outside our own minds. That's a philosophical argument. It's been discussed also in Western philosophy and Buddhism. All the great philosophers tackle this conundrum, this essential duality, this dichotomy. And, we've never really, because it's such a profound and expansive subject, it takes you into, there's so much to it that you can never really come up with any definite answers. You can come up with hypotheses and theories, you can have your own experiences on the matter, but you'll never be able to say what is actually so, whether the objective world is real or whether it's an illusion, whether we're living in a dream, whether this is all a dream, and how dreams seem so real, and then you wake up and you say, oh, that was only a dream, but that wasn't real. then how do we know this world is real? Any more real than the dream? What if we wake up from this world? When we go to sleep, this world doesn't seem real anymore. So is it real? What is reality? What is mind? And what is a dream? Are we dreaming now? This world seems to have a continuity, a certain sense of continuity and familiarity and certainty to it. But then again, we don't know that that's just not one long dream and one long night. It's repeating itself over and over, you see. So we don't actually know what anything really is, because ultimately everything is a mystery. The universe is a mystery. We are part of that universe. We are also a mystery. You know, we are that enigma wrapped inside an enigma. And the more you try to peel away the layers of the onion, the more you realise that the onion just keeps expanding as you're peeling away at it. So there's no end. You cannot peel it away to its centre, its core, because you're just going deeper and deeper into the mystery. So, but the Toad Taoist is saying that everything is all mind. The energy centers are mind. In other words, consciousness. Consciousness creates them, but they have to exist somehow in order for the Toad Taoist to perform these supernatural feats. And are they really supernatural? Because anything's possible in a dream. Are they truly supernatural? Are they truly supernormal? You know, because perhaps it's the limitation of our mind, our thoughts, that keep us grounded in this limited three-dimensional reality, this material world. You know, and if we were able to shift our awareness and our perception into other states of consciousness and other dimensions, not only, things that wouldn't seem possible are suddenly possible, because different laws apply to different dimensions. Different dimensions have different laws. So the physical dimension that is governed by the laws of physics, you know, electromagnetism and the laws of gravity and other laws that surround Newtonian and Einsteinian physics no longer apply, because different levels have different laws. So it doesn't conform. The things that manifest in events don't conform to these agreed and confirmed laws. They're liberated from those laws. So one is able to perform so-called supernormal feats of abilities. But they're only feats of perception. You see? Somehow the witness of those events has to be in a state that is receptive to these abilities, so that he can see the Toad Taoist flying through the air. He can witness fruit turning into stone and leaves, and so on. So this is where anything becomes possible. So to realize that everything is actually mind frees us up. You see, so we're more liberated that way, because the mind is not contained by physical parameters. It's limitless. It's everything, as the Taoist says. Okay, so that's something to think about, and don't just think about it either. Feel what the lesson is here, and try to realize that everything that happens to us, it's all mind, it's all illusion, it's all part of the dream in some way. We can change that dream. We can change our minds. Until the next time.